We're recording. Philosophy, Hour 8. I wanted to talk to you about a few things.
Yes, girl, she wanna be my best friend. To get close to me, girl, I get the message.
So many people ask me about how many followers do you have. That's a metric that they look at. And the fact of the matter is that many businesses aren't really looking at that portion. I've been operating in this space now for about 3 weeks, and I've learned a lot. And I definitely want to share as much as I possibly can. And my credibility comes on the business side of things. I love playing games. I think I'm pretty good at it. All right. But I'm obviously not a pro gamer. And I look at some of you guys and what you're doing with streaming. It's amazing. It's beautiful. I think you're going to be surprised at how important and valuable it is to start thinking about social responsibility, even when you're considered quote unquote small. Someone who understands to see themselves as a business, who understands their value proposition, because that gives them opportunity to be able to grow with that brand. As a company, think about it. Would you sponsor yourself? And that's what I want to talk to you about. In 2019, esports have seen $1.1 billion in revenue. The majority of that came from sponsorships. So about 457 million of that came from sponsorships. Now, you might think, well, okay, well, I'm not a professional gamer. I'll never get those kind of sponsorships. And the fact is this, though. When you look at the 443 million people who followed esports last year, roughly 245 million were occasional viewers and 198 were loyal. They were looking mostly at people like you, streamers, gamers, the small timers, if you will. 12% of all the millions of hours of gameplay that this portion, okay, of all this revenue that we're talking about, 12% of all of that gameplay came from pro competition, which means that the majority of it came from streamers, the Twitchers, the YouTubers out there. Now, obviously, it's a large market, and you might think, well, it's been saturated. Philosophy. There's no deals out there on the table, and I'm happy with my affiliate sponsors. You're providing more value, oftentimes, to that brand than the brand is to you. But that's another conversation we'll get into later on. But let's talk about overall sponsorship in itself. Now, if you think about it from a business perspective, there's two things that you're looking for. The first thing is you're looking for a business sponsorship. You're not trying to fund some individual. And then second, you want to make sure that you can protect your investment. So this is why corporate social responsibility is a big deal in corporate. For a long time they thought, well, being good to society and caring about social impact is just something that will make our heart feel better. And the fact of the matter is that it's actually a good business move because companies like Enron, who struggled with corporate social responsibility, don't exist anymore. You don't want to be the Enron. And if you think about yourself as a brand, put yourselves in the shoes of a corporation. Would you sponsor yourself? You have a choice between representing a group of gamers who practice social responsibility versus a group of gamers who do not. The answer is you're going to go with the group of gamers who practice social responsibility. Social responsibility is about social impact. It's not about you not being able to be yourself. There are a lot of things that got you to where you got, and no one wants you to change that. We're not asking you to be an angel. We're not asking you to go out there and pretend like you're just this perfect person. It's about using your influence to drive positive social impact. That's what social responsibility is. And when you do that, when you have these partnerships to these kind of projects, it will help you make a good business decision making model that would allow you to avoid situations where you're not thinking about how that impacts other people. So, how do you do social responsibility? That's what we're going to help you with. And we're not going to tell you from our perspective only. We're working with gamers, we're getting the best practices together, and we're giving it to you. And in the meantime, we're having a great time and finding ways to reward these gamers for being willing to help us put social responsibility in an industry that don't actually even know what it is yet. So we're going to give them everything they need: websites, Google Analytics, custom services, sponsorships, whatever the works are, right? Everything that we can do from a business perspective, we're going to feed that to them and their management teams. Looking forward to the journey. You have a backstage pass. You'll be involved in a lot of the meetings that I'm having, and you'll get to hear what it what these corporations think, how things operate when it comes to seeing yourself as more than just a brand, right? So first you got to go from gamer to brand, and then from brand to business. And I can't wait for you guys to join this journey. Hour 8, philosophy.
Yes, man, she wanna be my best friend. To get close to me, girl, I get the message.